I think it's time to talk about it. Let's talk about one of the baddest games of 2022. It's such a bad game. It was bad for relationships. It was bad for families. It was bad for children that were hungry. It was bad for employment. It was bad for education. It was so bad it caused women to have their vaginal hallways not be waxed. It was bad for men whose gamer girlfriends wouldn't make their worm unwiggly. There was a lot of reasons why this game was bad, but I guess it's just a testament to how good the game was. It's Elden Ring. Let's talk about it. Let's get that lowdown. Welcome to the lowdown. I'm your boy Alvin Lopez, and we're going to talk about Elden Ring. All right, Elden Ring. So the year 2022 came around, and a game came out made by From Software, who's notorious for making these games that are extremely difficult, and it has a cult following, right? Soulsborne games, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Sekiro, Bloodborne. These are all games made by From Software, and they have a style that is notorious to them. It's such a genre now that the rest of the world like the rest of the world that plays games that follow a couple of similarities, like campfires as your level up system, or um the RPG element, but it's an action RPG, or the difficulty, the mechanics of just like dodging and attacking and having enemies that can just kill you in one shot. That's what people refer to as Souls like games, right? And there's a lot of them out there, and I can't say that I've played many. Matter of fact, I wasn't really a Dark Souls fan at all until I played Elden Ring. And Elden Ring is a captivating game. It changed the landscape of gaming. It was a game we needed in the year 2022. And yeah, I said everything I said at the opening of this, but it was just because of how compelling this game was. It's been years, and maybe 10, maybe an entire decade of time since we had a game that you paid $60 for, and when it came out, it was everything you needed. More than 150 to 200 hours of content just to complete the game. And if you focus on the story alone, you were easily diving in for 50 to 60 games. And for all these new From Software fans, people that never played a game like it, they got to enjoy the challenge of dying a lot and rising to the level of success among the challenge of a boss that was so difficult but beatable. Everything in there was beatable. It might have not felt like it when you were fighting it. I mean, there was a thousand times where I had a whole bunch of random deaths. I mean, I remember it was one time fighting the very first boss. I want to say his name is Margaret. It might be Morgott, but I get their names mixed up. Either way, I'm fighting him, and he's like the "if you beat me, boss, you can now play the game." And he beat me. He killed me 45 times. I didn't realize I was supposed to go do other things to get stronger to fight him. I'm just like, progressing, and I run into this guy that just one shots me all the time, and I was like, what in the world? And it wound up becoming comedy to me. Like, it wound up being so funny that I was dying this often that I just laughed it off. I want to say I fought. I don't remember his name. I am sorry to all the hardcore fans out there, but I fought a boss that was an intergalactic centipede that shot bombs out of his. What was his name? Estelle. That was his name. Estelle. It came to me. I knew I'd get it. I fought Estelle, and I probably died on him 100 times. Right? It's because I was doing the quest for the waifu everybody loves. What's her name? You know, I was doing her quest, the witch, and again, I forgot her name as well. It'll probably come to me in a moment, but it might not. Either way, I'm trying to get through this quest, and one of the quests you had to do is go down here and fight this giant centipede in the underground location that gets created after you fight uh, Radagon, right? And he creates the side of the stars to fall, and you got to go down there and fight this guy, this centipede. I wanted the wing of Estelle, the weapon, and I was underleveled. I also made sure that I didn't over level to play the game. I wanted to play the game at the pace to let me not to have the challenge because I discovered really quickly the uniqueness of this game. It ain't take me long to realize what made this game special. And what made this game special was it made you prove yourself like when you were playing it. After beating Godric, actually, let's correct it. After beating Godric, I experienced something that I haven't experienced in years. And I mean years. The last time, the closest feeling I could say in a single player game was beating uh, Ganondorf in Ocarina of Time. And then the next closest thing I could say that felt like it was beating uh, Crota in Destiny 1. And then it was Elden Ring, right? But beating Godric, I died a bunch. I remember dying so much. I was like, what do? I don't understand this game. It's not making sense. And this was a game that I didn't beat on my own. I got on YouTube sometimes, like, hey, can I get help, tips? And there was tips out there. And I remember finding one. It was like how to cheese this boss. And I'm so against cheat codes and cheeses that I watched a video and was disgusted. But by watching the video, I realized the things that can be done in this game. And so I went and got another summon that you would get and had it help me. Which, matter of fact, no, I went and got the first summon. I didn't even realize you could have summons. And I was fighting this guy by myself. And at this point, you could have the wolves. Because Ranny, the witch, remembered her name. Uh, I realized you could have these summons, and the wolves helped me out. And I was like, oh man, this is incredible. So, but when I finally beat him, I was like, I'm the man. I can do this. I can beat this game. And I might have spoke too soon at that point, but like, or I didn't realize how deep it was gonna get when it came to some of these fights. Like we all know Melania, right? That fight is literally one of the silliest fights ever. But ironically, she wasn't that hard for me because I knew now how to prepare. I was like, okay, there's things to do. And again, I didn't over level, but by the time I got to Melania, I was well into like deep into the game and very very aware of all the mechanics, and I understood how the game played. I'm new, right? Like the first time I played a game like this, I played Dark Souls maybe for 30 minutes when it first came out, and was like pissed the fuck off, just like the majority of the world. I was so angry, but this game did not allow me to get there. I was able to navigate it at my own pace. So, what did From Software accomplish here that other game studios haven't been able to captivate? Because clearly we haven't seen a game come out since, right? This is what game came out in February, maybe March, February, and here we are going into August. We're going into September. We're ending August, and there hasn't been a game to come out that has even scratched the surface of what Elden Ring did, right? Elden Ring outsold every one of its other counterparts tenfold, and it may, it hopefully change the landscape of gaming. It should have opened the eyes of video game developers and showed them, hey, look, you don't need to create these cash grab games. You just need to create a game that is clear, concise, and complete, right? 2020 should have showed us what not to do with Cyberpunk. 2021 was a dry, like, heave of fire trash of video games. I can't think of one good game that came out in 2021. Sorry, whatever game came out in 2021 that was good, but I can't think of one. And then 2022 opens up early with Elden Ring, and we're closing the year. We're coming up on the fall holiday game releases, and there's not many games that I see coming that I'm like, I can't wait for that, right? I've seen trailers of games that's coming in 2023, and even then, I'm skeptical. I'm very skeptical because the last game that might have had an impact like Elden Ring was Breath of the Wild. If you really look at it, if you look at the landscape of gaming, and the way I like to compare Elden Ring to games, this is my honest review. And when I think of Elden Ring, I think of classics. I don't think of good games, great games. I think of classics. Ocarina of Time, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy 6 and 7, right? 6 to some, 3 for others. Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas, right? Grand Theft Auto 5, sure. Uh, what Red Dead Redemption, uh, Halo, Combat Evolved, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Guitar Hero. Why do you choose to think about those games, Alvin? You may ask. Well, here's why. Because those games changed the landscape of gaming forever the moment they came out, right? Ocarina of Time, we'll start there. 3D Zelda adventure, open world, never done before. When it came out, it now made all the other video games look at it, take note. We got to make games like this. We can't make games not like this. It got to be like this. We got to follow this format. And then Final Fantasy VII RPGs. We got to make games like this. This 3D adventure turn-based combat. This is what it's got to be. This is what we got to do. I mean, Pokemon literally copied it, right? And Pokemon's still relevant today. Pokemon can almost quite literally make the same game that they made back then, which they just did, Diamond and Pearl, with the same graphics basically, and still sell. It's meet its demand, right? Crazy. But then you go into Metal Gear Solid, right? That was revolutionary for the espionage world. Every sneaky game that came out, Siphon Filter, Splinter Cell, had to like Tenchu, Ninja Gaiden. They all followed that Metal Gear Solid technique, right? Halo, Combat Evolved, first person shooter, multiplayer. This is what you got to be playing. Yes, I mean, we could even say 007, right? GoldenEye. That's kind of what started. But Halo took that shit to the next level. I don't care how good you think GoldenEye was. It was a great game. It's definitely a classic. But Halo, next step up. Because without Halo, there wouldn't be a Call of Duty, right? Modern Warfare. But Call of Duty Modern Warfare revolutionized military gaming. Because before that, it was Medal of Honor. They were all single-player campaigns, really, right? And then Grand Theft Auto changed the open world landscape as well. This is why I compare Elden Ring to them, right? These are the games that are objectively the greatest games of all time. Like, this isn't, well, my opinion is it could have been better. This is, no, I don't care what your opinion is. Those games boomed it. They're stapled. They're there. They're solid. It's undeniable because the majority of the world agree, right? The common consensus is that these are the best games. So whether you liked it or not, doesn't really matter in that view. Sure, you can be like, it's not my favorite game, but you got to be able to respect what was done. And Elden Ring, I think, is going to get, it's going to be game of the year. And it it can and may very well be game of the decade unless someone else sneaks up on it, right? Because, I mean, good luck, Skyrim. Good luck, or not Skyrim, but good luck, Elder Scrolls, and good luck, just Bethesda in general with Fallout and all those. Good luck, BioWare, making a single player campaign that's phenomenal. Mass Effect is also, shout out to Mass Effect, because that's also one of the greatest campaigns of all time. But good luck to y'all, because Elden Ring truly set the bar so high, because it seems as though none of you other gaming companies want to make games that don't have microtransactions and don't have other ways, other monetization methods, right? This game came out, boom, sold crazy amount of numbers. What was it? It was like 10 million copies in a month. Broke its records. And it's still growing because people are still buying it. Yeah, its player numbers is down, but what do you expect? It's a single player game. Like, I mean, yeah, there's multiplayer in it, but it's not a multiplayer. It's not a multiplayer game, right? Like, it got a little bit of co-op here and there and a little bit of PvP here and there, but that game is meant to be experienced as a single player experience. And once you finish it, head to toe, there's nothing left to do until they release a DLC. Which the craziest thing is, its fans are like anxiously waiting. Like, we can't wait. Like, I'm a diehard fan. I won't lie. Like, that game won me over. I told everybody immediately that that was the best game I've ever played. Right, and I think it takes the number one spot, and it probably will down the future, especially if it releases some fire DLC that just, it has the possibilities. The mechanics of the game are true to any other Souls-like game, so, you know, it's a little stiff. The mechanics aren't nothing like crazy. It's not a Devil May Cry, you know, action game where you're like teleporting all across the map or nothing like that. It's, you know, it's smooth and simple. Sword swipe, sword swipe, sword swipe. Magic ability, cast a spell, roll out the way, jump, which apparently is new because I went back and played Dark Souls 3 and was like, what the hell? I can't jump really, right? Like, this game had good jumping mechanics. What else? I mean, being a new fan of the genre and then reviewing it the way I'm reviewing it, right? It took my breath away. It visually was stunning. I'm not going to hold your hand and tell you what you need to do. I'm going to tell you a story and let you navigate the game and put the pieces together to complete it. That was amazing. I have never, bro, ladies and gentlemen, I've only visited places like that in my imagination, right? Like, I've only gone into these crazy outskirt worlds with my own brain. I never had a video game truly let me walk it like that. And that was so crazy. I truly felt like my character in the game. I'm sorry I don't have like a lot of footage for it because I'm late to the scene on PC, but this is the way it works. Like, I was there and immersed. I felt like I was part of it. That's why I made the jokes earlier. I'm talking about 200 hours no life into this game, and I don't do that. Like, I play for 2 hours a day, maybe 3 hours a day if I got time, because I got full-time obligations outside of video games and YouTube currently, which please like and subscribe. Maybe we can change that. But the reality is that game made me change my priorities. like, and it did for many. I mean, like I said, there was a lot of girlfriends angry out there. I'm sure we can go back in time and look at divorce rates. And for between February and July, divorces increased 100%. You know what I mean? Like that might not be true, but it felt like it, right? Like the amount of anger you could see happening out there, the amount of no lifing that took place during Elden Ring was crazy. But so all that to say, Elden Ring gets a 10, bro. That game gets a 10. It's a must buy. It is a must have. I don't care if you beat it. I don't care if you like those kind of games. You need to give it a fair shot. It might change your mind about what you think gaming is, because it changed mine. So welcome to the Lowdown. Don't forget, hit that like, subscribe button. You know what I mean? Hit the bell. You get the notifications when I upload a new video. Don't forget to come check me out on Twitch, because I've been streaming a couple of games lately, mainly Smite, which I'm going to start fluctuating because I'm wanting to be a variety streamer. But Smite is one of my favorite games, so that's my mainstay at the current moment. But don't forget to come check me out on Twitch. It's Mr. _ low 90. And holla at your boy. I'll leave a link below. Thank you. Tune in. And you know what I'm saying? I'm always here to give you the lowdown on whatever news you want.